Movember. Look at these. Look at this facial hair. Look at it. Look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Steve, how are you feeling about that mustache?
Increasingly uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's starting to curl over the lip too.
Sure is.
Yeah, it's weird.
You're allowed to trim it.
Nope.
No, I could trim mine.
I mustn't.
Everybody can.
I
trim
mustn't.
it.
I mustn't.
I'll trim it tonight.
You're allowed to keep it kept.
I'm not.
I won't.
I'll be honest with you, Jess. I'm not used to it. Like, I'm not used to, even when I've done this in the past, my mustache has never actually grown to the point where it's gotten over my lips, because I can't really grow facial hair that well. And I didn't even think about.
I'll have less of that, Adam.
And Adam, what is this for?
This would be for Movember, how I started it, and it's obviously for men's health, mental and physical. And obviously, if you want to donate, and thank you to everybody that has, the Movember link is in the link in the description of whether the audio and the video portions of this show. I'm sorry, I got up way too early, and I was just all over the place. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show. Anyway, listen, Jesse and I were at a huge Movember event yesterday at their head office. It was pretty spectacular, and it looks like this year, Movember in Canada will cross the $10 million raise mark for the first time, which is incredible.
I want to shout out Tim in particular, who's a Movember Hall of Famer and a big listener of this podcast, a 100%er, as CJ would say about listeners of this show. Shout out, Tim.
Amazing. So donate now. We've got 9 days left. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Ooh.
All right. Let's start the show.
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go! Okay.
Hooray.
Friday. Steve is back and he's alive.
Yep. I think it was food poisoning. I'm not sure.
Yeah?
I had a fever the whole time we recorded the other day.
No, everything that sounds like food poisoning.
It was not great.
Mm-hmm.
I hibernated like a bear, though.
You have a good sleep?
I had a sleep.
Okay,
that's good enough.
That's good.
You don't want to hear that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious about when it got, like, did it just get better at the 24-hour mark? You're like, okay, I'm fine again. Because this stuff, as soon as it comes on, you're like, okay, if I could just make it through the next day, I know that by hour 24, I'm going to be okay again.
So during shooting Tuesday Night's LFR, so that was the Leafs Blues one, I was like, I don't feel well. And my wife was already well down that rabbit hole. And I would say yesterday morning, I was like, I think I'm going to live. And by about yesterday at noon, I was like, I'm fine.
Okay. That's good to hear. All right. So I guess you were fully cogent and ready to go for the Toronto Maple Leafs Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oh, man. I was like, if anything's going to get me out of bed, it's a weekday game between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Columbus Blue Jackets.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Oh, man.
It couldn't be a Bedard hat trick and a Celebrini hat trick on the same night. No.
No, I'd rather watch this. I got to say, like, okay, Leafs 1-1-1 over their last 3 games. But one thing that I've been calling them all season leading into this stretch is unwatchable. Mm-hmm. Because whether they've won or lost, they've been unwatchable. Last 3 games, they've been watchable.
Right.
Now, I don't think it's a coincidence that they get Joseph Woll back and he plays like Joseph Woll and all of a sudden it looks watchable. It definitely helps when you don't think that every puck is going in the back of your net.
Yeah.
But it's been 3 tight games. All of them are winnable. You get 3 out of 6 points. You want to do better than that. And I'm starting to get a little bit of faith that they might.
Oh, wow. Is that where we want to start? Or, Jesse, do we want to start on the news before the game?
No, we don't want to start in either of those places. We want to start 48 hours from now when the Steve Dangle Podcast takes over the greatest city on earth.
All right, fine. Yeah. The link is in the description. Hoshi Wag is joining us. We're going to the Oshawa Generals, and we're going to see that. And we want you to join us. There are tickets still available. Come on down. Last year was last year turned into one of the rowdier SDP lives we've ever had.
It was raucous.
Yeah.
Great venue.
It was
Unreal
awesome.
venue.
Some of the players came afterwards too, like not just the guys we interviewed, but they just kind of came to hang out. But Bond Street's an incredible venue. Obviously, so excited to get back to watch a Generals game because they're always so much fun. The arena's beautiful. It's going to be great. So link in the description as well, probably right under the Movember link. If you want to. You can buy your tickets right now. We'll watch the game first all together, and then we're going to the live show.
And none of the Gens last year stole my fish tacos. Unlike Jacob Battaglia from the Kingston Frontenacs. How dare they?
He'll never be forgiven for that.
Never.
Captain
material? I don't think so. I stole my fish tacos.
I want to talk about, I do want to talk about the news that dropped before the game. And this happened during the skate. And Jesse, I think you know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with not Joseph Woll, but the other guy. The other guy we were really relying on to be a big part of this team this year. And not Anthony Stolarz himself, but the messaging around Anthony Stolarz. So, Jesse, can you run us through the events of what happened in and around the end of morning skate yesterday?
Yeah, his buddies likes to call him Stoley.
Stoley.
So, Anthony Stolarz not on the ice at morning skate. They had a full practice, and he was not out there. So one of the questions at Berube's post-practice presser, pre-game presser, I guess is how you say it, was about
peppers.
was about Anthony Stolarz and what's going on. And Berube goes on to say that the injury that he's dealing with is a lot worse than they thought, and that he's still, quote, day-to-day, and that he has not been on the ice since leaving the game with the injury, but he could be on the ice tomorrow. Could be on the ice the next day. They're unsure. The injury is worse and he is out.
Every coach has their own way of saying, stop asking me these questions. Babcock's way of saying it was, stop asking me these questions.
Yeah.
He hated it because...
He'd be like, stop asking, I don't know.
Yeah, the coaching...
Weird Babcock accent.
The coaching staff wants to know who can and who can't, and whoever can is going in, whoever can't is not. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. So I think there's a bit of a disconnect there. But Jesse, you tell me if I'm wrong.
Uh-huh.
This feels like a decision from above Berube. Like, I don't think he controls this message at all. And it's the Leafs who are trying to control the message.
So, yes, because this is a larger issue. This isn't about Anthony Stolarz in particular. It's this Stolarz situation is the same as the many situations with Leaf injuries that we've seen over the last weeks and months and kind of years now.
Yeah.
So on Friday, Matthew Nyes is out of practice for a maintenance day. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday he plays. The following week, we find out that he's not going to play in the game and he's a last-minute scratch. And now that is a case where, once again, they tell us, oh, he's a maintenance day. But then Craig Berube reveals he's been dealing with a lingering lower body issue. And then the lower body issue came to be a problem the day of the game when he showed up to the arena, and they had to scratch him for the injury. And Matthew Nyes is still not back in the lineup, has not played this week.
Great. Good. Yeah, he's not important, though.
So the Stolarz decision comes on the heels of them doing that with Matthew Nyes. When Austin Matthews goes out, Austin Matthews was day-to-day when he initially went out after that hit along the boards. And now the injury is not the wrist injury. It's not what he's been dealing with last season. Dreger and CJ have both said that publicly now, so that's kind of out there.
Okay, that's great. What is it?
It is, they've said, what they've been told is it's a muscle issue. And
There's lots of muscles.
That's the thing, they're hiding what it is. But when you heal the muscles, when you just take time off, they'll heal themselves. He was back at practice, but not doing the full practice in his regular rotation. Obviously, he's with the extra skaters, but he's practicing with the team. So
he could be in Europe tonight. Would it shock anyone?
Right. But he's not going to play Saturday, it looks like. The bets are that he'll come back sometime next week because they're off from Saturday until next Wednesday. So it makes sense. Give him Saturday off, play him the next game. But that was day to day. Mm-hmm. And now we are getting into week to week territory.
Yep.
So what you are alluding to is that the Leafs training staff, I don't believe, are bad at their job. I don't believe that
elite.
They don't know what they're doing. I think, as evidenced by Austin Matthews' handling in the last 14 days, Matthew Knies' handling in the last, 7 now, because that was last Friday with the maintenance, and Stoller's handling in the last, 72 hours. There's 3 of the prominent players on this team, and what they're doing there with the injuries and the messaging to the fan base, I think there's an effort there from the management and the staff and everyone downwards, down to the coach who's going to relay the message, to lie about what the injury is initially, downplay it completely, and then when the time comes to update it, we get the updates about what's kind of actually going on. And when the weeks pass and somebody's out, we learn that it's actually a week-to-week injury, even though they probably kind of knew that initially, but gave us a message differently off the top. When they speak to us, the coach and the players and the GM at the podium and the presser, and we got our little microphones there, that is not a court of law. They did not put their hand on the Bible. They are not under perjury by court.
You imagine?
They have the freedom to say whatever they want. And if they want to lie to us and say that an alien from outer space came down and punctured Austin Matthews' leg and that's why he's out, they can say that, because they are not beholden to anybody except the public criticism for lying. But if they don't care about that, they can do that. And I think that's what they're kind of doing here. And I know, Steve, you want to go off on this kind of tactic that they have for PR messaging about their players.
I want... Sometimes you need a rock bottom moment when you know you need to change your ways. And this is it for the Leafs. Steve Dangle is about to tell you to calm down.
Whoa. I am actually really shocked.
Whoa!
Of all people, an actual heart attack waiting to happen, an aneurysm waiting to happen, it's a miracle I'm still alive waiting to happen, is telling you need to calm down. Let me just ask this. Let's just cut through it all. When are they relocating? Because it's impossible to win here. They can't do it. Why is it? Well, it's because of the media, and it's because of the fans, and it's, oh, for God's sake, they're doing this to turn down the heat on everything. If they say Matthews is out for longer, if they say Knies is out for longer, or Stolarz is out for longer, then we're all going to start to panic, as if that's not a normal thing to be concerned about. It was just announced today that Connor Hellebuck's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. How do you think Winnipeg is handling that? Oh, don't worry, it'll be fine. No! That guy won the Vezina last year, and everyone's a bit concerned. If you lose the big money winger you just paid this summer, and a guy who's supposed to be the best goal scorer in the league, and a guy who is your starting goalie who you just locked up to another deal again,
And
people
your
are
best defenseman.
And your best, yeah, you're going to handle that not great. The Leafs are trying to PR their way into our hearts. And it's literally just try hard and ideally win. That's it. That's all anyone has ever asked for. But you're trying to coddle us with, oh, he's day to day, and that trickles in 7 to 10 days, which is something that I remember people saying. And we're going to put this guy retroactively on IR. And what they're doing is, what's the term? Adam, you probably know the term.
Bullshitting?
It's bullshitting, but the more business term is flooding the field.
Oh, flood the zone.
Flood the zone.
Yeah.
Like, they're just trying to confuse us and distract us and whatever. When at the end of the day, all you have to do is be a gritty team that tries hard and ideally wins more often than you lose.
I'm going to cut a little deeper.
Go for it.
Because first off, I think Jesse makes a great point.
He does.
They don't owe us any explanation other than upper and lower body, and they will occasionally give a timeline.
Don't make me yearn for the days of Lou Lamoriello when he just said nothing.
Yeah, they're not with the team.
Lou
That's what
never
used to
lied
say.
to us. Lou never lied to us.
Yeah. Now,
The way the CBA is written, unfortunately, in the NHL, there is not a distinct injury disclosure process like there is in other sports. Like in the NFL, you have to immediately say what the injury is and designate every player according to the practices that you have each week. And there's a really transparent process for that because of the amount of betting that goes on.
Sure.
And it's been negotiated with the players that this is how it's going to be. And with the NHL, there is not that. So the Leafs are only beholden to tell us upper or lower body and whatever timeline they want to make up on the spot.
I mean, forget betting. I want to pay. I'm willing to give you hundreds of dollars, so my tiny son can watch his favorite player play. And is he going to play? And I got to tell him, I have no fucking idea, son. And I don't.
So
not like that.
But yeah,
I hope that's how you talk to your kid. But and you're telling the Leafs to calm down? No, I'm kidding.
Calm the fuck down.
BetMGM is an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League and is everything you need for the action on ice. Toronto, Montreal this weekend.
Oh, baby.
Woo! Who are you anytime goaling it?
Josh Anderson.
Oh, damn it.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Good one. Jesse, what about you?
William Nylander.
Hey, I like that.
Better one.
I like that. That's great. You know what? I'm gonna go Troy Stetcher. I'm gonna go a little off the board. Troy Stetcher. You listen, man. Did he not lead the Leaf in expected goals? Among defensemen this week?
At some point, you're going to expect him to go in. You know what I mean?
BetMGM app has improved its lineup this season with instant withdrawals, data insights, and brand new rewards hubs. Download the BetMGM app today and enjoy the NHL like never before. It's BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 18 plus to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. I think specifically, Steve, I think you make a great point there. And I'm going to get to mine, but I do want to nail down the fact that if Austin Matthews isn't playing, if Matthew Nyes isn't playing, then ticket values go down. Mm-hmm. And
for who?
So there is something to what Jesse said about, well, they don't owe us anything, but the fans have every right, I think, and I think we need to highlight this to get upset about it.
Oh,
and
I'm not saying they don't owe us anything in terms of like the moral part of it. I'm just saying like in the literal sense that there's no punishment for lying. So I'm not defending them that like I'm a fan and you don't owe me anything.
Oh, no, I know that and I got that point. Maybe I misrepresented accidentally what you said, but I totally got, that's what I got from you.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say here is two things. First, I'm going to back up what you guys just said, and then I'm going to cut a little deeper. I had a friend go to the game last night. His neighbors got season tickets, and his neighbor put the tickets up for sale for less than face value. Mm-hmm. And he said, if they're not sold by 6 o'clock, you and I are going. It's your turn. Let's go. Sure enough, 6 o'clock rolled around. Called him up and said, you're going because nobody wants to see a losing Leafs team against Columbus on a Thursday night. And who can blame them, right? And
also, you're not going to get to see almost any of your favorite players.
Yeah, you'll get to see Tavares, who's been on a tear. You'll get to see Nylander, who's a rock star. Easton Cowan was really good last night. We'll talk about the game. But there's no Matthews. There's no Nyes. There's no Stollers. There's no Tanev. And for paying fans... And I don't think our fan base has really thought about it that deeply, but they should. Mm-hmm. You should be pissed about this because it matters when you buy a ticket, especially if you're buying secondary market, which most people do if they're going to go. Right? Most people,
the only way to do anything.
And so you're buying a ticket and going, I don't even know if the best players are going to play. It's the same problem the NBA's had with the load management stuff. You know, guys missing 20% of their home games. Well, what the fuck are you selling? And so...
Imagine if you paid to go to a Taylor Swift show and the person who took the stage, and now welcome to the stage, fucking... like, you would never tolerate
Universal music artist so-and-so who's on the come-up.
Another one. It's another... Who cares?
Yeah. And listen, I know we're quote-unquote fans of the brand, right? But there was always a player that gets you into it, and you're a fan of the player wearing the jersey.
Yes.
And... I think we got a bit of a problem here, deeper than just the PR of this. And I think Maple Leaf fans, you should be pissed about the fact that Austin Matthews was day-to-day the entire month of November last year.
Yep.
When he went to Germany, he was still day-to-day.
He had a day-to-day injury that he flew across the world to solve.
What other team on the planet does that?
Nobody.
Oh.
Now,
Who goes to... Okay, here's a reason to go to Europe mid-season. A death. That's it.
Hey, there's the Swedish team, the Swedish tournament.
Or that.
Yeah, you went to that.
I did.
There's no deaths.
I did.
Pittsburgh,
And the Leafs
right.
bitched about it the entire time. Sheldon, you got 4 to 4 points. How do you feel? Fuck, I'm tired. Thanks, Sheldon.
Yeah, thanks
The
for
whole
selling
time.
it. Appreciate it.
Pittsburgh just played a game in Sweden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did, and nobody knew about it.
It's true.
Now,
Including the Preds, who lost both.
I want to talk about this. Anthony Petrelli wrote this last season, and he brought it up a couple nights ago on Twitter, and I'm so glad he did. I love Anthony. I think he's a great reporter, great writer.
One of them, probably the most underrated person who covers the team.
Yep.
Other than Jesse.
Blake. And Anthony broke the Tavares signing back in the day. Now, he said...
Oh, you don't like him?
When it came to Nyes, this is about Nyes. This was pre-Stollers, okay?
Uh-huh.
But the exact same thing happened with Nyes and Stollers this fucking week.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Anthony says, so far it's business as usual for the sports science department and the Leafs handling of injuries. Nobody knows anything, and Leafs players are dropping like flies. Teams on a 5-game losing streak, because they still were, and half the forward group is day-to-day, apparently. He said, and this is from 21 hours ago, turns out the guy we told you day-to-day actually isn't. Either the organization has no idea what the deal with their players is, or they're happy to just bold-faced lie. Happens too often now, and you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, to give them the benefit of the doubt, you do not have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, Anthony pointed something out that I hadn't thought of. We've been sold a brand of Leaf sports science that they're elite and they're amazing. Check this out. He wrote this last season, okay? It feels like the Leafs are losing a player to injury nearly every game. And so far this season, they are 6th in man games lost. And I want to remind everybody listening to this is last season when Marner was still here.
Right.
The same was in 23-24. And they were 9th in man games lost the season before that. We have brought this up several times over the year, so pardon the repetition, but at what point is it systemic within the Leafs organization?
And that's multiple coaches,
Yeah.
multiple GMs.
Yes. They employ a sports science department that seemingly doesn't keep players healthy. They regularly sit players for apparent minor inconveniences, and several injuries this season have stemmed from either non-contact or routine plays. This is anecdotal. But it's early this season when Craig Berube said a few players were day-to-day only for them to miss weeks on end, a la Austin Matthews. There appeared to be a disconnect as to when the player could return. During the last playoffs, and this is the 23-24 playoffs against Boston, their injury situation was an absolute circus and one of the biggest reasons that they lost. Remember, Nylander, Matthews, but more than them were out. After the team was eliminated, there was one player who required surgery, and it wasn't even the player we would have expected. Who required surgery after the Boston series? All the people sitting out who required surgery.
I don't remember.
Just name a guy on the roster.
Matthew Nyes.
Jesse, name a guy on the roster. Pick a guy. you know that street thing, like name a man for a dollar.
Pick a woman.
Name a woman.
Name a woman.
Domi.
Connor Dewar.
Oh my God.
And
yeah.
the last sentence I'll read. It's an annual issue at this point, and it's not to suggest they should rush players back or force them to play injured, but something is amiss when a team perennially is among the league leaders in games lost due to injury. Now, 15 years ago, or just after, when we started this show, this was a problem in Toronto. And when Shanahan came in, they overhauled the staff, and instantly the problem got better. The team also got younger, but the problem did get better. And at the beginning of the Matthews, Nylander, and Marner era, there were a lot of older guys on this team, mid to late 20s, some guys in their 30s, and the Leafs were regularly among the top teams in terms of man games missed, meaning that they didn't miss many. Right? They were regularly very healthy. We talked about it a lot.
Yep.
I look at the season ticket holders, and I told you guys this at the end of the season last year when they announced the price increases.
Oh, some of them are
Season
very
ticket
unhappy.
holders are super pissed. I've had people walk up to me in the supermarket
Mm-hmm.
and go, "Hey, I know you're on that show, that podcast with that guy. that yelly guy. I want you to talk about how they're treating season ticket holders. It's not good. It's not fair to the owners of those seats and to the people like myself who will come in and buy the occasional seat to say, yeah, we don't fucking know, man. And I don't know of another organization that does it. That's the thing. I was looking for parallels as I was putting this together. And like, as you said today, Winnipeg's like, yeah, he'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. And who else was out 6 to 8 weeks the other day? Kirby Doc, Alex Newhook. Alex Newhook's going to be out 4 months. I know
the Habs
Alex Newhook's going to be out 4 months.
The Habs at any given moment have 14 guys out due to injury, and all of them have a timeline. Absolutely all of them. I have so many things I want to say. Number one, with regard to the sports science team, devil's advocate. I'm not saying I necessarily think this way, but just devil's advocate.
Okay.
We know that at any given moment, every team, probably half the roster, has something they could sit out for.
Sure.
Maybe the Leafs approach is just a little more cautious than others. And it's really early in the season, and maybe that's when you ought to be. You know, you don't let guys play through injuries for weeks and months on end. And that's better long term. Maybe there's science behind that. I don't know. That's just devil's advocate.
Sure.
Right? So maybe it's a modern, different approach. They're trying it. They see if it works. I don't know. The other thing, when you lie about this, and it's at best, it's tantamount to a lie. Like
it's an untruth.
It's an untruth. What else are you not being totally honest about? So the other day, Brad Treliving did his quarter season media availability.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's saying, hey, sure would like the Leafs to make a trade. No one's like, you know what, stand pat.
Right.
No one that I've read, no one that I've spoken to, no one that I've seen. You know what, stand pat. This team is A-okay. Don't make any change. Brad, not a thing. Don't touch a thread. No one is saying that. So what does Brad do? He gets up and he says, we're not looking to make a trade right now. Which leads me to believe they might be the most active team in the league looking for a trade on account of why would I believe them? You're not truthful about the injury stuff. Why would I believe you about anything else? The Leafs have an enormous Toronto problem. The Leafs have an enormous Leafs Nation problem. And I gotta say, and this might infuriate them to hear come from someone like me, but I think the call is coming from inside the house. You got to get your head out of your ass. You're a hockey market like the other 31 in the league. Like you are Utah, you are Montreal, you are Dallas, you are Vancouver. I'm talking about big, small, lots of history, not very much history. I would call Vancouver medium history. You gotta get it out of your head that you are this unique, interesting thing surrounded by circumstances no one else has to deal with. I think so many of the Leafs' problems and mental barriers are man-made and self-inflicted. You cannot tell me there's more pressure on you to win than the Montreal Canadiens. Get out of my face. You can't tell me that the fan base is more ravenous than like any other Canadian market. Like I was like, go through the list. And maybe there's been a few more jerseys in recent memory. Okay, well, you lose all the time, you see. Like you don't see a ton of jerseys getting thrown onto the ice in Edmonton right now, despite the fact that they're having
they don't play at home.
Bad start. They also don't play at home.
All they do is play on the road in the Eastern Conference.
All they do is play on the road, but also they've been to back-to-back cup finals.
Yeah.
Like the Canucks have been to a cup final in recent memory. So have the Habs. The Jets have made it 3 rounds deep. Ottawa, like again, I don't got to go through the whole resume and everything. Yeah, they lose a lot. But, Ryan Reeves with his comments about how uptight the Leafs are and O'Reilly not wanting to deal with it, I definitely, make fun of the media thing and I make fun of the fans thing, but there's got to be something there. And there's no one the players deal with more day to day than people in the Leafs organization. They don't deal with the media as much as they deal with you. They don't deal with the fans as much as they deal with you. It's you. And you're making things tense for everyone, and it's killing the team. Absolutely killing them. You got to treat your fans like they're adults. You got to be upfront with the media as much as you can be. And if you don't want to be upfront with them, be Lou.
A lot of words, not a lot of substance.
Hindsight, if this book ever gets written, Kevin McGran talks about sliding doors. And I know not many people are open to this idea, but if Lou had stuck around for another year, maybe 2, and if Dubas walks, he walks. Whatever. As if no one else is going to go for that job. You know what I mean? I didn't want to lose Dubas at the time either. He was this young exec and everything. But the way Lou runs shit, yeah, the Engvall contract and the Zaitsev contract, whatever. But the way he runs shit, you have to admit, gets things done. And I think it kind of makes life simple. Shave, wear a suit, try. You don't got to wonder about anything else.
Yeah, you don't wonder what the rules are.
Shave, wear a suit, bust your ass. That's what it is. But everything with the Leafs is this. And I got to tell you, it's not that serious. It's not. I think it's very self-inflicted. I don't know if you get the same impression.
Yeah, no, how you characterize the Leafs is exactly correct. It is very self-serious. I probably wouldn't go as far as call it uppity, but it verges on that at times, and they value that crest to a point where it is detrimental to their own good in the eyes of the fan base. I think to their perception to the fan base, I should say, and to the greater hockey world.
Do you think some of that, Jesse, is they want to be champions, so you got to act like a champion before, fake it till you make it, whatever. Like you got to act like a
no.
That because what is it then? How can you put can you put a word to it for me?
No, because you look at Florida and Florida is so casual in their championness. They're all like rah brotherly love, come in kind of us against the world kind of champions, and I think it's the prestige that comes with the Leafs brand. I don't know whether it's because this has existed before Rogers solely owned it, but I believe Rogers, Bell, and Tannenbaum with his percent probably felt this way about the team. Like all together, they had this collective brain about what the Leafs brand should be. And it is different with the Raptors.
Yeah.
So we know that because they own these other brands, that this is specific to how they view the Leafs crest. And you look at something simple like giveaway nights. They don't do giveaway nights for the Leafs. You don't go to a game and get a Austin Matthews bobblehead.
Yeah,
have you ever noticed
there's
that?
Never been that.
You know what? I haven't, and I'm, as a collector, instantly mad about it.
Yeah, it's something like you don't ever think about because it never happened. So they're not like, oh, why don't we have bobbleheads?
They don't do that to get people to the games.
Yeah, they don't need to do that. They don't do that because they don't think of their team as that. They don't want to stoop to the level of creating is it the Jack Hughes bobblehead where he's holding his own bobblehead? Have you seen that one?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So funny. Or is it Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini in the bed together bobblehead?
Yes.
The Leafs.
Toffoli.
Is it Toffoli? They don't do those
Yeah.
things because they don't view their brand that way. They are Louis Vuitton. They are not George at Walmart.
Yeah,
you
here's
know?
the thing, though,
And that's hurting themselves.
Louis Vuitton has won some championships, though.
Yeah.
Right?
No, they're knockoff Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
You know the saying, act like you've been there before? That's their whole lives.
Well, that's what I'm
because
saying, right?
They have been there before, but no one was alive for it, so they have to act. Literally, they all have to act like they've been there.
The money,
they haven't.
The money makes them act that way. they are the highest grossing franchise. You know, they're going to bring in the revenue for this team. So they get that money and everybody cares about their team, and their season ticket list is 30 years long. And some team fan bases or some teams are begging people to sign up for their season tickets. So that sort of prestige gives them that ability to act like that, but they shouldn't at all, because it's not helping with the fans.
I think that's all internal.
Well, if you're wondering why all this relates to the injuries and the way the PR staff handle it, I'm sorry, you can't be bottom third in the league 5-6 years in a row and that be by accident. In terms of man games lost.
Yeah.
Like you need to do an investigation at that point. But secondly, that can't all be bad luck. I'm sorry, it can't. That's a trend.
I know. I'm not even saying it is.
But I think when it pertains, if you're asking yourself, oh, those guys got off track when you're listening to this, why are we?
I don't think anyone's surprised.
Why are we bringing all this up? Because when you're like that, it permeates the entire organization. Yes. It sweats out of your pores. It comes out of your ears. When you sneeze, it's in the tissue. Like it's a function of the team at large. And, you know, getting back to where we started with this, the frustration and animosity that this fan base had for the Leafs, especially I saw it bubbling really in the last 3 years, about we're doing the same thing again. Here we go.
We know better.
We know
better, and we can't be irrational and emotional like the unwashed over there.
Yeah,
who were right the whole fucking time.
Mm-hmm. No, the
whole gosh darn time.
Adam's right in that, like, the overall mentality about the Leafs and how we kind of outlined there, that trickles all the way down to the final message from the coach to the fans about how they think they can lie to us about the injuries.
Yes.
You know, that stems from the last 100 years of Leafs hockey and with the brand they built and now the attitude that they have, that all trickled down to how they handle these things.
The Toronto Blue Jays are more important to Canadian baseball than any other team in the MLB. The Toronto Raptors are more important to Canadian basketball than any other team in the NBA. Mm-hmm. The Toronto Maple Leafs are not the most important thing to Canadian hockey in Canada. And it
might be the third most important company or third most important team in their own company.
And it's weird that they treat themselves like that. And I do understand from outsider perspective, people are like, what the hell are the Leafs navel gazing at everybody else?
It's very up their own ass.
So
it is.
So
it is.
If Brad Treliving and whoever else controls this were Keith Pelly was in the room with us right now, what's the message? What's the message when it comes to this specific stuff? To Keith Pelly, to Brad Treliving, about the injuries, about the fact that if I'm buying a ticket, I have no fucking idea who's playing and for how long they're going to be out, because I might hold off on spending $300 or $400 so I can wait till Austin Matthews is back in the lineup because I own his jersey. What's the message? What do you want to tell them?
Like, I need to know, like, listen, guys get hurt. It's a contact sport. There's 82 games. It's a Titan schedule. I get it. Mm-hmm. Don't bullshit me, though. Like, I would be furious if I bought a ticket to last night's game like a week ago. Well, he's day to day. And so is Nyes, and so is this, and so is that. And I got to pay premium Was it discounted? Did the price come down?
No,
I got to watch Jacob Quillen and Matthias Pacelli for, like, there were people who paid to watch all that shit for like $300.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
There is a trend that's going on recently where there have been more empty seats than there have been in years past because of the losing and because of the overall feel of the team in terms of coming off of that Jays run. They are not in the news as much. And then coming out of that, they go on a terrible losing streak. The fan base is speaking with their money right now, and there are tickets available on the secondary market in particular that we haven't seen in a while. CJ mentioned on the CJ show too, and in person, like, people can get tickets here because people are upset with this team.
There is not a lot to love about this team.
That scalper guy's in the front row now.
There's not a lot to
moving
love
on up
about this team in the last few years.
Yeah.
We talked about that on this show, and I know there's some hardcore Leaf fans who are like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're not real fans, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, sure.
That's fine.
The guys were not lovable. They were not lovable.
Team doesn't
and if you want lovable, you look to what the Blue Jays were. You look at what the Raptors were. You look at how Edmonton fell in love with the Oilers over the last couple of years all over again. Mm-hmm. You look at how Montreal is engaging and just would dive for Caulfield and Suzuki, right? and they're on a 4-game losing streak. I look at the Toronto Maple Leafs and I go, okay, they didn't have the love factor, but we kept hoping it would be there if they won eventually in the playoffs. They won enough games where you go, okay, I feel like it's going to come. But now the winning factor isn't there so much. And Jesse, I think you're seeing that in the seats.
Mm-hmm.
People are going, oh, so I already don't love this group, and you don't even win.
Yeah, if you want to get tickets to a Leafs game, like the Columbus on a Thursday after coming off of a 5-game losing streak, that was your opportunity there. Now they're on a 6-game road trip, so who knows if they turn around. But there were some chances there because people were down on this team.
I went to a game, oh man, it was like 2012, 13, something like that. It was Leafs Oilers.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, you might have heard that and gone, whoa, that's a hot ticket. No, the shit, it wasn't. Not back then. And I couldn't believe the amount of empty seats.
Adam, you would be really good at telling this story. We were both there. But the Islanders game we went to where we sat in a box because Leafs tickets were so low at the time. Like we got a box for the radio show and the amount of empty seats there were.
Oh, yeah. That was the Horchek era.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who scored in overtime to win that game?
It was John Tavares.
John Tavares.
Of course he did. Oh, my God. He was a Leaf killer.
But that season and that game in particular, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal. I mean, there was
bad.
I have never seen it that empty before or since. But
those tickets are sold.
Yes. But you can though the tickets now I can see it on TV. That's how noticeable it is about people not showing up at the game.
You know what business people don't like doing? Wasting their money. And at some point, even though it all goes into the same pockets, which is why I kind of hate one organization owning every damn team in the city, is all these companies who own these season seats are, especially after getting, the prices jacked for renewal, and they lost their box. It's for some of them, it's just open seating for some of them. They're going to go, is there a better way to spend my money? I'm going to spend my money on the Raptors instead. I'm going to spend my money on the Jays instead. Business still gets conducted in the summer. I'm going to spend my money on the Tempo. I'm going to spend my money on this and that and that. And the
Scepters.
The Scepter. Yeah, there will always be obviously a prestige that comes with the Leafs, and if you're a big believer in the Big Four or whatever, and Toronto doesn't even have 4; it's 3. It's MLB, NHL, and MLB. But I just wonder if these companies are going to be like, why are we still paying top dollar? The Raptors won a championship recently. They're good now. They're young. Mm-hmm. What am I doing?
They are. Yes, they are. The answer is yes. And that affects the television side of it too, which Rogers also owns.
Yeah.
And I know there are rumors about that already. People pissed about the sponsorships they bought. And so, maybe they get through it this year, no problem, because the contracts are locked. But renewal time next summer is going to be painful. Ford F-150 Tremor. Baby, we love it. Now, we've been talking a lot about the outdoors. You can haul toys that are toys, like for Christmas, or you can haul toys that are toys for, like, maybe you got a boat.
I hear Santa is considering using it for his sleigh.
Whoa.
It's better than Rudolph because you don't have to feed it. The lights work.
No. Rudolph is going to pull the F-150.
Oh, is that what's going to happen?
Yeah,
I thought the F-150 was going to pull Rudolph.
Oh, that would be interesting.
You know what? Kick your hooves up, why don't you?
Yeah. Now, Santa will have access to the large 360-degree digital cluster that gives you instant feedback on your off-road status, including pitch and roll angles, which is important when you're flying through the sky.
Yep.
Digital cluster.
Baseball.
Also, the interior is beautiful. There's so much room. Santa's a heavier set guy. You want a little extra room.
Hey.
Right?
You would be heavy set too if you had to eat milk and cookies a lot.
We're a body positive show.
I didn't say that it was a bad thing. All I said is that he's going to have room to be heavier set in the crew cab. And Jesse, I like to say to Jesse, you could actually sit in the back seat of my Ford F-150.
I actually have.
And not eat in your knees.
No, I've fit in your back seat comfortably.
It's perfect. So here it is.
Yeah, like that sentence?
Ford.ca
well done.
Well executed. F-150.
Let's go.
Build out your Tremor right now. The Leafs have a pretty rough situation where the team, listen, and we got to talk about the game. Leafs are 1-1-1 in their last 3.
And I don't think the sky is falling.
I don't think the sky is falling either. I know it's 3 out of a possible 6 points, but especially starting in Chicago on Saturday night, we should talk about the game. Starting in Chicago with Joseph Wolinette, with real actual NHL caliber goaltending, the Leafs started to feel good. Then they beat St. Louis in a battle of the zombies on Tuesday night. Slow, painful, but they won.
Man, I gotta listen, full credit with that lineup. You shouldn't be beating anyone.
And last night, they dominated the first half of that game again.
Yeah.
They came out and absolutely ran the Blue Jackets over. But the one issue, I said it on the stream, the one problem we had, they were out shooting them like, what, I don't know, 12-4 or 15-5. They tripled them in shots. And by the way, Columbus did not have a high danger scoring chance until after the first Voronkov goal.
They faded through each of the last 2 games.
Well, no, beyond that, though, they didn't get a goal in the first period.
Oh, I know.
How do you outshoot them 15-5 and you have no goals?
Well, Greaves was very good.
He was good, but they weren't getting rebounds. They weren't getting you can't listen. When you're the Leafs in this situation with this much sitting on the sidelines, you have to take advantage of every opportunity. And Jesse, when you talked to Easton Cowan last night, what did he say?
He was very down on himself for not capitalizing on the opportunities that he had on the top lines. He played over 20 minutes, which is insane for Cowan.
I hate that he's down on himself. He played.
No, I thought it was great.
I thought it was
the first time we
heard
a young up and coming player on the Leafs take accountability for like not burying a goal. Like, so to finish what I was saying, he said that he was up on the first line. He had so many opportunities, and if he buries one of those opportunities that he had, his team wins the game.
Yep.
So he was down on himself for not burying one of those opportunities, and that to me is a good mentality to have because he's not saying
you're right.
In the negative sense, like, oh, I suck. It's know when I get these chances, I got to do my all to win the game for the team. And I had my chances. And now going forward, I got to know I can bury them because that one missed shot might be the difference between us getting 2 points and us getting 1 point. Like, I love that mentality out of Cowan.
If Calle Yarncroke doesn't score because Calle Yarncroke doesn't have hands, it's fine.
Man, if he buries that power play chance in the first.
But I look at, well, that's why he was demoted too from the first line. He should not be up there.
No.
Easton Cowan takes that spot midway through the first period, and instantly that line comes alive. Easton Cowan had, for my money, his best game as an NHLer last night. That game to me is him going, no, I'm staying here. You'll never send me down again. You need me here.
I was totally wrong on him.
And
holy cow.
Well, or maybe you weren't. He was getting scratched. They sent him down. He got some confidence. He came back and he's playing great. And what his role is going to be is top 6 player. And when top 6 player gets opportunity, top 6 player must score. And so, after that first period, I thought, shit. And we had somebody, his name was Ryu, and he super chatted me last night, and he's like, you guys know there's a Jack Greaves shutout incoming, right? After a first period like that. And not quite.
Adam Fantilli kills the Leafs in Toronto. So does Jack Greaves.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what his numbers in Scotiabank are. He's great.
A few other guys we have to shout out. I thought seeing Scott Lawton on the penalty kill.
Oh my God.
It was like a warm hug.
Leaf fans are so wrong on him.
They're totally wrong.
I mean,
I don't know if they're watching the same hockey.
Not
I really
all,
don't.
obviously. Well, it's frustrating, right? You give up so much for a player who, like, here's the difference. Carlo has played this year and been bad. Lawton has not played.
Well, and we don't know what Carlo might have been playing through because we can't figure out what the hell the Leafs.
Yeah, because they treat us like children because they're afraid of us. And if you work for a team that plays for a fan base you're afraid of, I think you should change industries because that's a terrible way to live your life. With Lawton, he has not played. So, and that's not his fault, and that's not Treliving's fault. That's no one's fault.
He's played parts of 3 games.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. But man, chicken soup for the Leaf fan soul. That guy is a player. That guy, I wish they would stop playing Domi at center because getting Lawton back, even with all the injuries you currently have, I think gives you that luxury. It would have been thin. You can play Domi there for a few shifts, maybe offensive zone starts. But I think last night you could have gone Tavares, Lawton. I would trust a B2C. I really would. Probably Lorenz 3C, Quillen 4C.
Jesse, do you have a sense of why Craig Berube, even when they didn't have the center health issues that they have currently, you have a sense of why Berube's been so stuck with Domi there when Lawton went down in preseason? Because Domi essentially has been, he was supposed to be their first line right winger.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of you got to show the GM what you got. I think you play Domi at 3C because that's what or 2C because that's what he's provided to you. Ugh. And if he fails or succeeds, that's not on you because you are putting the player in a position where that is where he is slotted in the lineup. Like I think he might be sending a message to Brad Treliving by playing Domi there. This is the option I have been handed, and I think it's honestly the right thing to do in that case because that is the option. Like you're weighing out like putting Lorenz up in the line. I don't know if that's the best idea because you don't want to. Lorenz has looked so good in the positions he's played in. Taking him out of that, you're kind of hurting yourself.
Yes,
you have
that is fair.
Given Domi as that center when this lineup is so mangled with Austin out and Nyes out and everything.
Wild.
This is what you have.
Yeah,
I gotta play this here. And that's not on me that he can't do what is asked of him.
Well,
I got a quote for you.
Okay.
Mark Masters, Craig Berube on Nicholas Waugh, who skated on his own the last couple of days. Probably still a ways away. I got no timeline for him.
Oh goodness. Yeah, no, it continues.
Sorry, continue with the
No, the world keeps spinning and the Leafs have no answers on injuries.
Here's what he should do. Mark, I refuse to answer that question. He's got to make it like you're talking about playing Domi to make it uncomfortable. Make it uncomfortable. Craig Berube shouldn't be answering these questions.
No, that's his job.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's in charge of that.
Because the Leafs are so fucking mystical and important that they do things differently. Craig doesn't know. He has no idea. What is the man supposed to do? So with Domi, I'm trying to problem solve.
Yeah, with Domi, like that's what he's asking. And just clean up the Yarncroke thing. He wasn't demoted. He played most of the second period on that top line with Matthew, with Tavares.
I called it before the game.
And what do you mean?
Well, because everyone got worked up about it. He's not a first line player, and I'm like, I guarantee you, he plays half the game there. Maybe.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Like Yarncroke, you look at the thing on paper that they tweet out or it's printed out in the press box or whatever. The lineups are set or out of practice. That thing's going to change as the game goes along. Craig Berube discovers who's feeling that night, who's playing well together. And he went back to Yarncroke in that middle of the second for some defensive help next to Tavares, which was good. Good decision. And then when the third period was chugging along, the end of the second, really, Cowan goes back up because he's playing so well.
Yes.
And that's what you got to go with. So I don't like categorizing these guys as getting like demoted or moved up unless it's like, we know somebody's just on the fourth line now. Like, otherwise, it's just in-game adjustments that I think Berube is making, especially with a guy like Callie, who's good in every place in the lineup.
I thought
he's useful, I should say.
Berube had a very good game, and I thought the Leafs had a very good game, and it was one line that let them down. And like
they got nothing out of the Domi Robertson McMahon line.
It was nothing.
It's horrible. It's a terrible line. Like last year, you could at least rely on them to score a bit, generate some chances, and if the puck comes the other way, they're going to get hemmed. You take the good with the bad. There's no good. Like I'm trying to remember any shots, scoring chances, anything from yesterday at all this season. I can't think of any. It's bad. It is no good. It's not fun. Terrible. And when they get guys back, like now I'm trying to problem solve. Okay. So I'm watching them play the team at large, play a brand of hockey that's watchable. They're tight. They're in games. They have a chance to win. Michelli was on the fourth line today at practice.
Mm-hmm.
Get it over with. Off with his head. That's enough. Coach doesn't like him. Puck over the glass penalty. Gag me with a spoon. That's enough.
Yeah, by the way, under no pressure.
Under no pressure.
That?
Like the guy can generate offense. We've seen it. I don't think he's a useless player. I don't think he's a fit for this team. Goodbye. Domi, play him at wing or do not play him. I'm not saying you have to trade this guy. I'm not. But if your coach insists on playing him at center, after you get Matthews back, after you get Waugh back, oh my goodness, uncle.
Yeah.
And you have Lawton.
And I don't think he's going to do that. I think in a situation where Matthews and Waugh are out, he's showing the GM, like, this is what's left. Like,
Yes.
Domi is that next guy up.
Yeah.
And it's not on Berube to be like, to kind of change that. I think for the amount he's making and what he's been tasked with, I think Domi's got to be there and fail on. You got to let somebody fall on their own sword.
I will say
And
this,
I think
though.
that's what he's letting Domi do. And I don't know if you guys agree or disagree.
Because from the beginning of the season, though, they lost Lawton, and they're like, we're changing the entire construction of the roster. Lawton was the 4C, and we're changing everything. Domi is going from 1 RW to 3C, and this guy is getting friggin'. What are you doing? Why? Pourquoi? What was the whole point of training camp and everything? The easiest thing is to slot someone in, and I need a center. Like,
What it is.
I gotta tell you, it's a little Babcockian. Because what Babcock would do,
Nick Patan. Who else was he? What else would he
that guy would borderline.
throw a game? He'd throw a game to center.
He would borderline throw a game.
Yep.
Dubas goes out and gets Jake Muzzin, and you're like, oh, he doesn't shoot right. You fucker. You're such a jerk. Like, you know what? I'm going to put Nick Patan in positions to fail because I'm so goddamn smart.
I think when he needs a center, that's the center he's been given. And
No, it isn't.
It's up to Domi to perform or find a new center.
Well, like, here's the thing. It was an incredibly tight game last night, an incredibly winnable game. The 2-0 goal goes in because that line that always gets hemmed got hemmed. They iced the puck. They managed to get it out of the zone. Domi and Robertson change at the speed of smell because they're so tired. And Tavares and Willie both get a dash because they were on the ice for like 2.5 seconds, leading to, it's a nice goal from Fantilli. But as I broke down in the video, if Fantilli doesn't score that, there could be a rebound. Marchenko's right there. He could pass to Marchenko. Marchenko could score. Like, you could kill them 1,000 ways. They just happen to be killed the way that they were. And then there's obviously the giveaway in overtime, followed by, I thought, a poor read on the back check. Why are you? He got beat to the outside way too easily.
Well, because he didn't pick up the fact that Adam Fantilli was bearing down on him so like, you see him actually, if you watch the replay, Domi looks to his right to see what's out there, and then Fantilli is like, oh, he looked.
Yeah, goodbye.
I'm gone.
Yep, goodbye.
And part of the reason Fantilli's able to do that is Domi's positioning is too far to the side of Fantilli rather than diagonal to him. Like, he needs to be further back before he even swivels his head. You got to trust that your teammates are going to pick up the other guys. Who cares who Fantilli might pass it to, Max? Just go get him.
You're in a bad situation, and you got to play your role in the bad situation. Like, Fantilli's a special player, but he, in NHL terms, just got here. Max Domi is 756 games into his NHL career.
I'll be honest with you, they had possession before that. The play he tried to make to Robertson was a non-play.
That was
to McCabe.
Was it McCabe?
Yeah,
Non-play.
he throws a pass to McCabe that's right at the Blue Jackets.
No, non-play.
It was ugly.
I'm tempted to be like, McCabe shouldn't have even gone for it. You are on the ice to babysit them. Like, and also with a minute left, with under a minute left.
You didn't need to do that.
No, that's the tandem?
And the Leafs had dominated overtime to that point too. That's the sad part.
I thought they looked really good. Like, listen, you get a game, you get a point out of a.
What is this play?
On the screen right now is Domi and two Blue Jackets defenders right in front of him, and then McCabe is behind those two defenders, and he decides, I'm gonna try and squeeze this puck by them, and it doesn't work. It goes right to the Blue Jackets.
And
that leads to the goal.
It's going to be difficult
look
to
at
illustrate this with screen grabs, but the way McCabe is holding his stick when Werenski intercepts it, there you go. I think he's expecting a chip. He's expecting a chip on the other side of Werenski, and Domi's like, no, I'm going to feather this through a top 3 defenseman in the NHL.
And he tries the weakest sauce in the world too.
Terrible.
Like, I don't know what he's thinking here.
Look at all the empty seats.
It's tape to tape for Werenski. Also, yes, the empty seats. That goes back to our previous
That's
conversation.
overtime, bro.
Whole lower bowl just empty there. It's ugly. It's ugly stuff. And then he gets beat the other way by Fantilli, who's just fast.
Yeah, because Domi's going backwards. What the fuck? And what's infuriating about that is Domi actually does manage to screw him up, and he almost loses the puck. He loses the puck there. It goes into the corner. Maybe you survive overtime and go to the shootout. Maybe they even use you in the shootout and they score. Mm-hmm. Hooray. Mm-hmm. We'll never know. Like, again, it's hard. With Michelli, I'm like, yeah, he's not a fit. Goodbye. With Domi, I do sometimes wonder if we're ever going to get to know this player. He's not an NHL center, and he's currently the 2C. Stop it. Craig, stop. Like, at what point, like, okay, if what's going on is what we've said is what's going on, Treliving needs to go down to his office and be like, all right, point taken. Can you please try something else? Please. I cannot believe that's what they're going with at practice again. After last night, God, and that Bruins game, you're down, I think it was 4-1.
And then you come
Domi
back
takes
4-3.
that silly Zadorov penalty when you're down a goal. My goodness, like, and it all, I don't want to put it all on one guy, but there's points you're leaving on the table here.
He's had a bad week.
He's had a horrible week, and a week that could have really righted the ship. And if you listen to the team, I think they think the ship is righting because it is.
It does. Ultimately,
no one wants to hear that shit.
Yeah, everything is looking good.
No one wants to hear that shit, but it is true.
Yeah. And one thing I will say, I know you're yelling 2C a lot. It's the same thing with the conversation about Yarncroke. He's being deployed like the 3C. Lawton played 15 minutes at even strength, and so did Domi.
So what I am saying then, what I said is a downright realistic, rational option.
15:07 even strength for Lawton, 15:20 even strength for Domi, 16:17 for Domi in total, and then Lawton played 17:22 because he's also useful on the penalty kill.
So
he did play more minutes.
You could have gone Tavares, Lawton, which is what you did.
Yes.
I think Lorentz, at least you try it, or you have Lorentz kind of platoon with Domi, Quillen.
But don't get mad at the paper. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, don't get too stuck on the paper. You're right.
He brought it in at 2C. He played 3C minutes.
I am mad at, okay, forget the number. C. I am mad at C.
There you go.
Stop it with fair. C.
That's fair.
No more C.
There's no argument for that one.
Enough. He can't do it.
Yeah.
Put anyone there. Can Nyes play center?
Adam, do you think?
He's out. McMahon, play McMahon at center.
I feel like
we got it.
He's left. You've left a lot for us to think about.
Stop fucking putting him there.
Between the lines here.
You think he wants him at center? I don't know.
Well, so okay,
you're just setting points on fire because of why?
On the good side, though, Joseph Wall looked great last night.
Yes, he did.
Outstanding.
I don't think he's given up a bad goal yet.
John Tavares continues to look great. I thought William Nylander had a ho-hum game last night.
I think he's played back-to-back ho-hum games. We just forgot about it because of that nasty overtime.
I felt like last night, I'm like, if he was more on tonight, probably would be winning earlier.
I think
probably would have won the game.
It's probably just easier to key in on him because there's no one left.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. You can shut the one guy who can score.
But then the question is, how does Tavares keep getting it done?
And then you've got, you got the rest of the guys. One guy I want to shout out because I've been super hard on him, really, really hard on him. But they seem to have found Morgan Rielly a defense partner.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Morgan Rielly together, not only are they scoring a bunch of points, but they look good. Listen, my thing with Morgan Rielly has never been, please be the strongest defensive defenseman on the team. We have McCabe playing. You have Tanev there. McCabe, Benoit need to play that role a little bit.
Benoit's been a bit better recently.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. He has. I think he plays well with McCabe. I mean, Keefe used to put them together. My issue with Morgan Rielly has always been, you got to pair him with a very specific defenseman or he can't perform, which for me means then you shouldn't be making that much money. If you're that specialized, then you can't make that much money. And that's why I hated the contract the day it was signed. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hate it now. I love the guy. I think he's a great person. I think when he's scoring, which he is, then he adds value.
That's the kiss of death.
No, it's not.
No, the kiss of death of every conversation is he's a great guy.
Go fuck yourself, Wild. And I'm like, I get it, But dude, like
I don't think anybody said that.
People get mad. They're like, I don't understand why people have been so upset with Morgan Riley, Adam. Like, yeah, and I'm like, guys, I watched the game. You watched the game too, right? Until they paired him with OEL.
What voice was that?
He's looked.
Sylvester Stallone's like,
ferocious.
You should take it easy.
But
What do you think of him as a person?
with Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who's had a great year,
Oh,
outstanding.
turn back the clock.
They
Looks great.
look good together, and I'm like, okay. Well, we have found the defense partner that's going to work for Morgan Riley this year.
Yeah.
Next year, it'll be somebody else. It's
Jeez.
true.
Jeez.
What do we got? This year it's Ron Hainsey. The next year it's this person.
He's
The
had
next
an
year it's that
unbelievable
person.
amount of partners.
Yes, and what's interesting about it is it only is good for so long.
Mhm.
That part bothers me. I won't lie. But seeing this now, I'm going to take it for what it is in the moment. I like what I see from the defense core, and I really liked Mermis and Stetcher.
Stetcher looks great.
It was great to see Dakota Mermis get a goal.
Uh-huh.
I know he hit the crossbar earlier in the period, or the previous period, but seeing him get a goal and just rah,
He could have
I
had
was
two.
so excited.
It's crazy.
Troy Stetcher has looked. I mean, listen. There's probably a lot. Like if you're a Colorado Avalanche fan listening to this, you're like, guys, you're getting pumped about Troy Stetcher. You don't know how bad it's been, guys.
Mhm.
Troy Stetcher has been a great breath of fresh air on the bottom.
You
pair on
could-
the
Troy
team.
Stetcher leads the Leafs in 5-on-5 expected goals amongst defensemen since he's joined the team.
Hilarious.
You could easily have Myers in that lineup, by the way. Like, there's another guy where I'm like, okay,
Where?
that's, take out one of the, take out Mermis, slot OEL anywhere on the left side. I don't really care. And
What?
have a lefty next to Stetcher.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
What I am trying to say is,
right,
I
let's get to it.
don't think Philip Myers is going to be around very long. Like he's very clearly not even the 7 anymore. There's a few, like, again, I'm crazy irrational guy. No, I'm writing on the wall guy.
Mm-hmm.
Michelli, first offer you get, great, out the door. Myers, first anything you get, great, out the door. The sun's going to explode. We're all going to die. Let's conduct some fucking business here.
I don't stop just taking whatever for the trades.
No, I think you can.
I think you need some value for the guys.
Hey,
back.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying pitch him out the door for nothing.
Hey, Barry
no,
Trotz.
I'm not.
Barry Trotz. Barry Trotz.
Hey,
Can I
Barry, you're kind of out of your mind. What would you take for...
If Jim Benning was
And you
still a
get it?
GM, I'd be calling him.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get it done. Get something done. Waivers, even.
They tried with Johnny Beach.
Oh, Beecher?
Oh,
Yeah.
Beecher?
Yeah, and he's in Calgary?
Yeah, Calgary got priority on the waiver wire, so they got him.
So Toronto
Yeah.
put
But
No,
Toronto
but that's
Toronto
added.
had a claim in is the word I was looking for.
I don't know. I'm just, I don't know. I know it's...
things. I'm Steve, and I need things to happen.
Yeah.
Why? Because everything's going so great?
Well, it is. It's
You
going
know what I
better.
mean?
It's going better.
It is going better, but not because of either of the two men I just mentioned.
I want to talk about one of the issues that Toronto obviously had, which was hemorrhaging fucking goals. Okay. And then I'm going to segue to another team when I talk
Sure.
about this. Joseph Wall being back helps, but listen, please don't overplay Joseph Wall. Please put Dennis Hildeby in at some point because it's 4 games in a row as of Montreal on Saturday. We're going to need Hildeby's got to be back.
Which is turning into a must-win for both teams.
Yes, and we'll get
If
to that
Wall
too.
starts Saturday, he'll start the next game as well, pending Stollers being back because they have a long break in between the 2 games.
Well, we know Stollers isn't coming back, so.
Well, no,
We'll see. We don't know
We have
that.
no timeline.
Berube said they don't know what the injury's worse than they thought. He could also be back on the ice tomorrow.
Cool.
So, we don't know.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, great.
Now, a round of applause. Round of
Thanks.
applause. Aura frames. We've talked about these a lot. And by the way, with Christmas coming up, these are amazing. Steve, you gave one to your in-laws. And this is why this is such a great Christmas present, because your in-laws don't necessarily need to know how to use it.
No, they don't. It's true. It's genuinely
That's funny.
true.
I mean, it's important. I mean, it's cool if they did, but they don't need to.
No, I'll tell you how simple this thing is to use as a gift. You can download the Aura Frames app. You can upload the photos yourselves. They never have to touch it. And you can update the photos yourselves. They never have to touch it. Oh, do I got to turn this off? No. The moment you turn the lights off in the room, it shuts off.
Oh, that's
Buddy.
cool.
Actually?
Yes, it plays
No
live
way.
photos. It plays video. It shows stills, obviously. This thing rules. It's an awesome gift. And I just love having it in the house.
You know what's cool about it too is if you got one. So let's say your parents had 3 kids and you each have families. You get an Aura frame for each family. And so you can see what each family's up to over the course of the week if you keep updating.
Who is the better child?
Who's the better child? I mean, that's what it's for.
Find out with Aura Frames.
Unlimited free photos and video. Preload your photos before it even ships. So when it shows up on the holidays, it's already there. Gift box included as well. And by the way, for a limited time, visit auraframes.com and get $45 off Aura's best-selling Carver Mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter of the New York Times, by using the promo code SDP at checkout. That's Aura, AURA frames.com, promo code SDP. This exclusive Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal is their best of the year. So order now before it ends. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout, and terms and conditions apply. I want to talk about boring shit for 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes of boring shit. I know the Blues are not a very good hockey team. I know the Columbus Blue Jackets are a mid hockey team. But you can only play the opponent that's ahead of you, right? What has worked in the Leafs defense systems-wise that has changed things over the last 3 games? Remember, they played Chicago, looked good, lost the game outright. Played the Blues, won in overtime. Played the Blue Jackets, lost in overtime. What has it been over the last? It can't just be Troy Stecher. Is it the alignment that they are allowed to have with Troy Stecher there? Is it, because I'm seeing on the defensive side of things, I'm seeing a far better outlet passes.
Yep.
And I'm also seeing a lot less, although I did see too many of them against the Blues, the cross ice NHL 2012 guaranteed goal cross ice pass.
Yeah.
You remember those, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's happened here? Because it's looking better.
Last year, a signature of the Leafs was anytime the puck was coming to the wrong side of the ice, there were 2 guys back.
Yep.
Always 2 guys back. And if it wasn't 2D, it was usually 2D. There was a forward filling in. And if it's the forward filling in, you can be confident that there's a defender who's working their ass off to get back, and they're usually back on time. And if it's 2D, there's usually a forward who's working their ass off to get back on time. That's what I've seen over the last 3 games. It's not ridiculous off the rush. And if there is like even a partial odd man rush, you see the occasional 3-on-2, the occasional 4-on-2. It's if they slow down for even a microsecond, the Leafs catch them. And it's amazing how much better everything looks, including your goalie, when you figure that out. I think, am I wrong in saying that Wool has gotten better at playing the puck?
Oh, I think he's been working on it.
No.
You don't think he's better?
I mean, like last game is what I complained about.
Yeah, I know.
I think you saw maybe him not make anything that looked shaky. Columbus, but St. Louis, I don't think he had a good game playing the puck.
Yeah.
Don't forget what happened 48 hours ago.
I know. I'm trying to grade on a curve here.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll stay on point, which is, as you know, a very difficult thing for me to do. They're defending the rush much better because they are minding their P's and Q's. Now it's affecting their ability to generate scoring chances. We're seeing their shots go up, and I think their chances go down, honestly. If they convert on the power play, they had 2 good ones in the first period. Maybe we're talking about a different game. But what I'm describing, even though it's not the sexiest thing in the world, is what they looked like last year. That's how they played. It was volume, not necessarily quality. What they gave up was volume, definitely not quality. They're laying the body way better. McCabe killed someone yesterday. Lorentz killed someone yesterday. They've been rocking guys recently. This looks so much more familiar. If the Leafs had the injuries that they do now last year, I think this is roughly what they would have looked like.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
And I want to give you guys a stat. This is a crazy stat. There is a team that has allowed 84 goals this year.
Is it the Leafs?
No,
Oilers.
The Edmonton Oilers.
There you go.
They are last in the league in goals allowed, and
I cannot believe they lost that game.
I want to compare and contrast to the Montreal Canadiens, who led in 8 last night, and Montembeault on the first 10 shots allowed 3. So the Montreal Canadiens went from 64 goals allowed to 66 goals allowed to 74 goals allowed in one night. They're on a skid. And I mean, Montreal's goaltending is surprising. Montembeault was on the Four Nations team, right? He didn't dress, but he was the third goalie. He's not going to the Olympics.
Someone decided he was one of the best 3 Canadian goalies in the world.
And they were wrong, but he was still there, and he had a good season last season.
Sure.
I don't think he was ever top 3. Logan Thompson erasure. I think that was politics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fair.
The Edmonton Oilers and the Montreal Canadiens have got to figure out goaltending. And they're two very different situations. Montembeault and Dobish. Dobish has looked really good, except for last night, which wasn't great for the Montreal Canadiens as the whole. But the reality of it is that Dobish, even when he came in the playoffs last year, you thought, oh, maybe they got something here. Edmonton, the quote that will live in infamy forever is the one I keep bringing up, which is one-word answer. Oilers reporter asked Stan Bowman last year at the deadline, are you going to get a new goalie? And he says no. And they do nothing about it this summer, and everybody knew what the problem was. And, just like you said, hey, the call's inside the house, everybody who doesn't watch Oilers hockey regularly knows what the problem is. That's how easy it is to diagnose the Oilers problem. I know that they're not as deep as they used to be. They don't have Perry, Fogle, Broberg, who, was in and out of the lineup, Dylan Holloway, whatever you want to say about the rest of the lineup, fine. But nobody needs the Oilers at 84 goals allowed. 84 goals. And by the way, they've scored 68.
I mean, speaking of a team that, it's insane you haven't tried anything yet.
That's the thing. Try?
Was the plan wait for Zach Hyman profit? That's not a way to run a team. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? That's not even close.
And I think Jesse made a really good point this summer. Stuart Skinner is not a starter, but he is a platoon guy, I think. At his best.
I think he could. Yeah.
But the idea... listen, I think it's amazing that Calvin Pickard has stuck in this far. He's got some playoff games or whatever.
I was going off on him yesterday in the group chat, and then he was this close to pitching a shutout.
I'm sorry.
This close. That save.
Sorry.
Oh my God, I can't believe he made that save.
No. No.
What?
No.
Pickard?
Yeah, no.
No, I agree.
He's goalie 3. He's goalie 3. Skinner's goalie 2. Why did you not? And I wondered about this because really Chicago never fully prioritized goaltending in their best era, right? When Stan was at the helm.
Crawford was pretty underrated.
He was fine. Antti Niemi was not, but they won with him anyway.
Antti Niemi stole the job from.
I don't know.
Anyone remember? Who did he steal the job from in 2010?
Who?
Cristobal Huet.
Well, there you go. Great.
There you go.
France
We're losing the plot here, fellas.
I don't think
that's what I do.
Stan Bowman values goaltending enough. I don't think he puts enough into it. And I think the inaction by Jeff Jackson and Stan Bowman right now looks awful bad. How do you think Connor McDavid feels about signing that extension?
Pretty good.
If he feels, listen, if this continues to January, how do you think he's going to feel then?
Even better.
Yeah, because he can get out of it and go play in the Olympics.
And the other thing that I keep looking at, keep an eye on. Well, actually, Jesse, you sent the quote. Connor Ingram through 6 games has not been great, and they're giving him a reset.
Yeah, so Ingram, he's been down in the AHL in Bakersfield playing, and it looks like they're aiming for a December Christmas-ish or late December Christmas-ish after that. Call-up is areas when he should be ready because he missed all of training camp, and they were saying that he's struggled in the last couple games, so they're looking to reset him and get him back to where he should be, with the flashes he was showing in the early games. He was down there.
Right. And AHL numbers, we know from Wool, are not the be-all, end-all. Wool's been very good since arriving in Toronto. Maybe Ingram can be that. I thought that was a great... listen, you got to try something. And that was them trying something. But I think you're running out of runway here. And you got to get 3 NHL games out of Ingram and make a decision. Because you're really running out of sunlight here.
Just so I can credit where the quote's from. It was from the Oilers Now podcast with Bob Stauffer. We love some Bob Stauffer.
Yeah, we do.
He was talking with Bakersfield Condors head coach Colin Chalk, who said, he's talking about Ingram, missed training camp, we're going to take a little step. The quick Cole's notes, I assume this is what it's supposed to say. Cole's notes was great in his first game, wasn't seen in his next game. Talked to us about that. We gave him a little bit of a reset. Goalie coach Kelly Gard did a great job helping reset him, getting him traffic practice, emulating some things, went back to check it. So he needs to get back up to speed after having a misstep there.
Man.
Yeah, and then he went on to say, players who miss training camp often take time to get back in rhythm. It may take until Christmas for them to find their form. That's part of the American League experience. So that's where I got the Christmas timeline for Connor Ingram.
How? Let's say they nail it.
Mm-hmm.
They nail it, and they solve the problem. That's what they get for Christmas. Santa brings them. Everything's fine.
A goalie?
Are they? Yeah.
That's cool.
Just what I asked for.
We got to leave some milk and cookies.
Ingram comes out of the box. It's so hot in there. Oh my God.
It's the ghost of Tommy Salo and Nikolai Habibulin.
Do you think that's what Jeff Jackson is looking for under his Christmas tree?
It could be. We're goalie and goalie. Anyway. Is it going to be too late?
No.
Yeah, probably not. It's the Oilers.
I feel
They're
like
the one team no rules apply to.
I feel like I'm the only person who's like, this is all fine. Do you know on November 21st what the record was of the Edmonton Oilers
last year? In how many games?
Let's find out how many games they played. I have to pull up the number. I'm sorry, I didn't have it immediately ready.
Why?
Let's go to last year, November 21st. Clicked. Edmonton, they had played 21 games.
21 games.
How many?
What's the record?
7, 10, and 4.
Adam?
I'm going to say 21 games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 9, 8, and whatever else is left over.
This year, on November 21st, the Edmonton Oilers have played 23 games. They are 9, 9, and 5. That's 23 points. Last year, on November 21st, the Edmonton Oilers had played 21 games. They were 10, 9, and 2, 22 points.
Oh.
They are pretty much on par with what they
Give me the
had
goals for
last.
and goals against, Jesse.
Goals for 58.
Less than this year.
Goals against 67.
Almost 20 less than this year.
Everybody do it.
6,
We're
7.
doing 6, 7.
Oh, God. I hate myself. I want to die.
Sorry.
Stupid. Is it okay that they're going to be? Is it okay to have the opinion that they will be okay and they have time to solve this goaltending issue, which is a huge issue? If they want to win the Stanley Cup, they need a 1A goaltender.
I'm asking them to recognize that they have that issue, Jesse.
I think they do.
No team gets to think this way except them.
Okay.
I'm not saying that sarcastically. I'm saying that literally. No team. The rules don't apply when you have Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid.
Mm-hmm.
We know this because they keep breaking the mold. They keep every model, throw it in the garbage. Blow your nose with it. But they are fascinating.
They had a 524 save percentage or points
Oh,
percentage.
wow.
Points percentage on November 21st last year. They're at 500 now, which isn't great, but it's not
a whole
too
lot
far
different.
off.
Not a whole lot different.
They ended the season incredibly. So I don't know. I think they're going to be good.
They can't keep getting away with it.
It's literally that.
Toronto will not have that same outcome. I'm just throwing that out there. They're going to have to earn this.
Do they have a Troy Stetcher problem?
You know? Good question. The Montreal Canadiens, by the way, have fallen from grace significantly. If you look at the standings in the East, the Montreal Canadiens are now behind the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs guys are in a wild card spot today.
What?
That's stupid.
The Ottawa Senators are leading the division.
The East is
I'm lying. I'm lying to you. I'm so foolish.
You dumbass!
So everything Adam said is
was
incorrect.
That was goals for. Everything I just said was incorrect.
The Canadiens are ahead of the Leafs.
By
The
2
Leafs
points.
are 9th in the conference. or in the wild card standings.
Yeah.
Nothing is true.
They do have more regulation wins.
They are 3 points. Yes, that's true. They are 3 points.
But like, who
Hang the
gives a
banner.
shit?
Montreal do have 5, and the Leafs have 6 regulation wins. But the Toronto's got 21 points. The wild card cutoff is Pittsburgh, Washington, Columbus at 24. Also Boston at 24. Boston was the head of the Atlantic Division a couple days
because
ago.
2 points separates everyone.
Yeah.
But Montreal is not having the best time. 3-4-3 in their last 10.
But the standings are ridiculous to look at. Like, they're not indicative of how these teams are playing. The Montreal Canadiens, like you said, they're 2 points out of being in a playoff spot, but that's not how they're playing. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah,
that's not the standings aren't a good scope of talking about these teams. The Canadiens are reeling right now, and it's a goaltending issue that I think is not the same as the goaltending issue in Edmonton, because this is an actual problem in Montreal where they are letting everything in, and their problem is not just allowing like a handful of goals. They're getting beat consistently and allowing 7 goals to the Stars. I think it was 5 goals to the Kings, 8 goals last night to the Capitals. Nothing is being stopped right now, and they don't have the history of going to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals.
Yes.
And this needs to be solved immediately, or they won't be a playoff team again.
They also just lost Doc and Newhook.
Yeah.
So they were already super thin at center, and I keep telling Canadiens fans this, and they keep laughing at me, and I'm like, guys, Kirby Doc is not going to play a full season.
No. I mean, at what point?
Not everybody can do that.
I know it's not his fault, but like, damn.
Yeah, and so they need a second line center.
You can't conduct business that way. If you can't depend on a guy to show up to work, what are you going to do?
And the coach or the coaching, they're going after Ivan Demidov about his 5-on-5 play or whatever. And I'm like, guys, get him a second line center first, please.
That's also what rookies do, is they be bad at D.
They be bad.
They do be bad at D.
Yeah.
Almost all of them.
Get him up. You see him on the power play. He looks good.
Yeah.
Put him with a legitimate second line center, which they've needed for 2 years.
Don't
They
get
know
mad
this.
at the rookie for doing rookie things. Get mad at Laine for doing rookie things.
Well,
You're
whole difference.
hundreds of games into your career. You can't be doing that shit anymore.
yep.
And then there's Demidov.
I wonder about Patrick Laine's next contract. He's one of the most expensive contracts coming off contract this year.
Magnitogorsk always needs a score.
I'm wondering.
Yeah,
Is
he
an
might be
NHL
done.
player.
He might be done in the NHL. I
Anyway,
could see that.
He's going to hoist the cup in the
So
spring.
Pierre LeBrun updated the situation on 2C in Montreal. Do you want me to read that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This is from today, I guess.
This is from his rumblings around the league.
Rumbling!
So he talks about how the Habs have been making calls around the league for a 2C for a long time before their struggles. But things have ramped up now that they are struggling. And he says, the Habs management duo of Gorton and Hughes are not known for rash decisions. They're not going to make a panic move. Deep down, they know they're not Stanley Cup contenders yet, so they're not going to do anything foolish. Any bigger trade they consider would have to help the team this year and beyond. I also think the Habs have examined the cheaper options too. Less dramatic moves that could fill a hole to help with injuries. They tried on David Kampf, but the veteran free agent chose Vancouver last weekend. Right now, I think it's a dual-track approach for Montreal when making calls around the league. The problem, of course, is that there are very few sellers in the standings, with the standings so jammed up. Calgary and St. Louis are listening for sure, but Flames ownership doesn't want Nazem Kadri traded.
They're so stupid.
The Flames are in no hurry to move Blake Coleman either, if they move him at all. But I could see the Canadiens also keeping an eye on that name. And then he talks about how the Habs did talk to the Blues several times about Jordan Kyrou. But that was before his no trade clause kicked in on July 1st. So he goes on to talk about Kyrou, and then we get to the third name, which is Jonathan Marchessault. He has 3.5 years left at $5.5 million AAV. I think the term on that deal would scare the Habs to some degree. I also think any team looking at Marchessault would have to assess how much his offensive decline has to do with the lack of playmakers in Nashville compared to Vegas versus his natural age regression. So there we have the 3 names that are out there, but all 3 of those names aren't really things that Montreal is going to jump at. So it's more of a wait and see still from Hughes and Gorton. Thoughts, Dangle and Wild.
I am always decoding the way a message is delivered. And that begins with, no, they're not going to do anything rash, but here are several multi-million-dollar decisions they are looking at.
That they've already called on. Like
Oh
he
yeah,
said
that they've
called
already. This isn't Pierre talking out of his ass, which
No.
I don't think he makes a habit of.
He doesn't do that.
No. So I mean, what GM is like, pick up the fucking phone? Because that's not what you do. That is how you get fleeced in a trade. You don't want to look desperate.
Mm-hmm.
The Habs, over their 5-game losing streak, I didn't realize it had gotten to 5 games. Does anyone want to know what the goal differential is? Because
I'd love to.
Take your guess. It's 5 games.
Well,
They lost
7,
all
you
of
got,
them.
you got a 7 and you got a 5, and then they allowed 4 against Columbus, 3 against
Jesse,
Boston.
what's your guess?
So I'm going to say 23.
You think it's negative 23?
Oh, no.
No,
they've
goal
allowed-
differential. Goal differential.
15.
Negative 15.
20.
It is negative 17.
Whoa.
They have allowed 27 holy shitting goals over the last 5 games and scored 10.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It is bad, so bad, very not good.
If you can shut down a line, you can shut down the Canadians.
What do you think of the options?
Well, I mean, I will say,
get a goalie
I will say,
from within, like you can't trade for a goalie. You got to do it.
well, sometimes it's understandable when you're struggling. I think if you were to tell me the Habs won their last 5 games, I'd be like, well, that's insane. They're missing everyone. Right? Like, so many guys are hurt on this team. And like hurt long term. And I don't necessarily expect them to do great. I think it would be surprising if they were doing great. You look at the logjam in the East, I think it would be incredible to see them on the positive side of it because of how many guys they're missing. I think part of the reason goaltending has slipped recently is everything has slipped recently.
Everything.
The team plays poorly in front of the goalie's going to struggle. We saw that with Stolarz in Toronto, and then it became more and more obvious that he was hurt and couldn't stop a beach ball by the end of it. And then they're like, he's day-to-day. Sorry, it's way worse than we thought.
Last season, you said the Montreal Canadiens had to take a step, and then they did, even though Canadiens fans got mad at you about them taking a step.
They never did apologize.
This season, if the Montreal Canadiens, with all of these injuries and them struggling in goal, if they don't go out and like do some sort of piecemeal thing to fix the injury situation right now, and they miss the playoffs, is that so bad?
I don't think it is. And that's going to sound counterintuitive because last year I said they need to take a step. At some point, what are you supposed to do? You don't have players playing. What is the injury report? Do we have it up?
For Montreal?
Yeah. Doc, I know, is out.
Newhook is out for 4
Newhook
months.
is out. So there's 2 centers right there.
Yeah. Well,
Gooley is out.
and 2 centers that weren't the answer anyway. Gooley, Reinbacher again.
Again?
Laine, Newhook, Doc, and Jake Evans too.
Oh, and there's another center.
Yep. We got the same problem. It's going to be like
If they knew Evans was...
It'll be Tavares versus Suzuki and bunch of guys on both sides.
Man, if they knew Evans was going to be out, my guess is they outbid Vancouver for Kampf.
Yeah.
Because...
I think it was Doc's news that came out after Camp signed.
Right. And then they lost Evans as well.
I also don't think David Kampf wants to go to Montreal. After being in Toronto for so long and the mess that kind of how it ended.
You don't think David Kampf wants the opportunity to be like F you to Toronto at every turn?
I think the comfier life is out in Vancouver.
Yeah, maybe. Just to get out of the fishbowl, right?
Yeah.
Not that Vancouver's not a fishbowl, but it's a different fishbowl.
Yeah.
It's a fishbowl with mountains.
Yeah.
I believe they call it the Pacific Ocean.
It's not the Atlantic fishbowl, it's the Pacific fishbowl.
Yeah, and it's not a fish. They're mammals.
Ah, fair.
Orca are mammals.
True.
How dare you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, oh, man.
I'm not making a move right now.
No, I'm not either.
I feel like I would like a goalie, but goalies are hard to come by.
I think you have faith in Montembeault because this is the exception to the rule. Dobish has been very good for you. If you can pick at the waiver carcass, you do it.
Can I just
if you can make small moves, you do it. But
can I throw a name out there?
Throw
the
it
guy
out
that they were interested in for years.
Whip it out there. Throw it at my
I'm gonna
face.
whip it. Steven Stamkos. He is number 2 on CJ's trade board. If you could get
a lot of years left,
could you get to them to retain?
Yo, Yo.
You know?
Stamkos for Laine?
So Stamkos playing between. Yeah, Stamkos for Laine. Jesus.
Well, how do you make the money work otherwise?
I don't know, but could you? I'm just thinking fit.
Are we sure Stamkos is an upgrade over Oliver Kapanen?
Well, I think he's got more experience.
It was sarcasm.
Yeah. I mean, Oliver Kapanen, he had a good start. I don't want to take that away from him.
Yeah.
Well, isn't this like wrong? So right now the center depth that you have up is Suzuki, Kapanen, Evans, Veleno. Isn't Evans out?
Well,
yeah, I don't get too hung up on the line combinations. Puckpedia's got
the medical thing next to him, so he.
Oh, it does. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's an interesting guy. Another guy maybe that you call in Nashville is Ryan O'Reilly. He's got no trade protection.
But they said they're treating him like he does, right?
They might be worse run than Buffalo. What are they doing?
No, you can't tell me at this point that they're treating Ryan O'Reilly like that. This is his contract's expiring, isn't it?
They reiterated it again on the most recent CJ
Did they
show.
really?
Even though Ryan O'Reilly, who left untold amounts of money on the table to sign in Nashville, has no trade protection. Even though he has no trade protection, they're treating him like he does.
Yeah.
They're poorly run. They're incredibly poorly run.
Just for any Canadians fans who want to get mad at Steve, Jake Evans played last night. He's the one who got the big hit from Tom Wilson. So he's not at practice today, but that's why he's in the line, because he was in the lineup yesterday.
Gotcha.
But now he needs a maintenance day. We'll see how long he's out.
You might need more than that. That was a crazy hit.
Tom Wilson yucked his yum.
Well,
he did, yeah.
I got a couple names for you. Boone Jenner is on the CJ trade board. I'm just looking at the
the trade board is fascinating this year.
There's some surprising in here.
Adam did a cartwheel when he saw Morgan Riley.
Yeah, Morgan Riley's on there. Morgan Riley. People are like, there's no trade clause. Yeah, guys, people waive them. I get it.
Yeah.
Boone Jenner. 32, 3.75 Schmel. Contract's up at the end of the year.
I love Schmel.
Can't be that expensive.
Here's where I'm at with Boone Jenner. I feel like his name's been in rumors for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, I tune it out.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What about-
maybe. It's a good option.
What about Christian Dvorak, who is on yes, and he's had a great start with Philadelphia, and his contract expires at the end of the season. Do you go back to the well and get a guy that you know?
Here's the problem trading within the Eastern Conference right now. I think almost every team is like, well, we might make it. Why would you sell if you're an Eastern team right now?
No, you're right.
There's like
Because it's
literally
wide open.
any of them.
It's wide open.
Yeah.
But those are the three major centers that are available right now.
Interesting.
Some more might shake loose later. But
Ryan Hartman's on the list.
yeah,
he
but
can play
I
center.
don't know about Ryan Hartman. I don't know.
Alex Wenberg's on the list. He can play center.
That's such a good point with Hartman. You don't even necessarily need a full-time center.
Mhm.
Like, you're going to get these guys back eventually, and then he becomes a useful winger for you. I like that idea.
Yeah. Especially because of how bad the Wild have been. They might be looking to sell some parts.
Like, you can...
Actually, the Wild have climbed back into things. Forget me. They've won 3 in a row.
Yeah, because it's bloody November.
7-2-1. It is bloody November, you Englishmen. They have 24
Sometimes
points,
it comes out.
and they're tied with the Blackhawks for the last wildcard spot, actually. So, yeah, things change so fast every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
it's interesting.
I think we gotta wait for these trades to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And again, I would just pick at the waiver wire. Like, you need mercenaries, basically. Or try out some guys from the minors. And
Steve, what are your thoughts on number 9 on the trade board?
who do we got?
Who do you think it is?
Number 9.
Yeah.
Can I get a team?
Leafs.
It better not be Nick Robertson.
Brandon Carlo.
Oh, man. What a disappointment. He has not been good. He has not been good. Now, here's the good news. He does not make very much. And the Bruins retained on him, which is part of the reason he costs so damn much. But you give up a first and Minton, who's a pretty damn good prospect and now NHL player, to a divisional rival. You hope to get a player back that you're not trading immediately.
That was supposed to be Brandon Carlo.
Yeah. But here we are.
Like the guy with term on a cheap deal that you're not trading immediately was supposed to be Brandon Carlos. So.
I remember seeing that deal and being a little blown away by the price, but going, holy cow, I can't believe the Bruins retained multiple years. Why wasn't it? Like, isn't it 2 years after this?
No, it's a year after this, I think.
Yeah, one more year. Yeah.
So it was last year and then 2 years after.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
At least could retain again, make it even sexier.
They could. I don't necessarily think they should, but
UFA in 27. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So someone's going to want them, right? Like there are guys on this team where I'm like, like how you might find a taker for Domi. Are you going to find a taker for Michelli? Carlo? Someone's going to want Carlo.
Yeah.
That someone might even be the Leafs.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe everyone comes back from injury, including him, and he's better for it. I don't know. It's disappointing, but you have to do something for the love of God. He doesn't play anything like I thought he would, and he doesn't play anything like what I imagine a Berube defenseman plays. Like, you're big. Okay, what do you do with the big?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why I called him Justin Hall without the vision. Like, Justin Hall was big. He was a big guy. Didn't do anything with it.
And he does play big in that he lays a lot of hits, and this year his hitting went completely away, and then he was out with an injury, so I think we know why his hitting went completely away. So hopefully he heals up. But that's the Leaf Sports Science team.
Maybe he comes back and he's
There's
off.
a through line for the episode.
I would say day to day.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Adam, did you have some other NHL stuff?
Well, I was going to leave it there because I think we've had a long episode, right? And timing.
There's two things I want to get to.
Okay, get to them.
I want to do Bedard.
You do want to do Bedard.
I want to do Bedard.
You meant him screaming at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Tossing the Blackhawks. Yeah.
Connor Bedard's on a breakaway. He gets interfered with on the breakaway. I think everybody would agree that usually when a stick gets up in your hands, they make a call. The player chasing him on the Kraken hits him in the gloves there. And as Bedard is missing his breakaway attempt, he goes by the referee, yells at him as he's coming towards him. He looks him right in the face, screams a couple things, does a stop up in his face to yell
Touches him.
more things.
I've never seen that.
Doesn't punch him. For those listening, doesn't punch him.
The ref is like, what the fuck?
They are eye to eye, and Bedard is giving him shit in the middle of play. Remember, the game is still going on, and as this happens, Bedard's still yelling as he's backing up, and I'm still playing this video. He's still yelling at the ref, and the ref decides, I'm going to give him a unsportsmanlike penalty, a 2-minute penalty here, and this leads to a Kraken power play where they score a goal, and that goal ends up being the game winner. So you can take that off there. I'll give you Connor Bedard's thoughts after the game and how he responded to this, and then I will tell you Jeff Blashill's thoughts on it as well, and then we will get Steven Adams' thoughts. This is Connor Bedard from what are they? CHGO, I think it was whatever the website's called. Here we go.
Yeah, I obviously in the moment you think it's penalty, but I got to control our emotions in a better way, and I put our team in a vulnerable spot there. So I just got to do better.
What did you say?
Sorry. I don't want to be rude, but I'm not gonna say it.
Was it that you turned around the second or third time, maybe that got it?
You gotta ask him. I don't know. Probably, yeah.
And then
You can't ask him.
That's the thing. That I thought that was very funny that he would say you got to ask him, because that's not a thing that we are allowed to do. And then here is head coach Jeff Blashill responding to that incident as well.
Breakaway.
Well, it's a penalty. So that's where we got to control what we can control. But when I walk in the room and see, when you don't have position of the guy and you put your stick in there and you hit his glove, which he did. Yes, he got the stick after, but the first contact was on his glove. That's a penalty. It's a penalty. And then, I don't know what was said. It better have been really, 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 really personal to be that sensitive about it. Because you're deciding games.
Amen.
So if it was super personal, I wasn't there. I don't know, but it better have been really, really, really personal if you're not going to have enough thick skin to just keep playing through it.
I think like
the Blackhawks
snaps
are never
for
getting
you.
another call.
But like, I think good for Jeff Blashill for saying that.
Yeah, but they're never getting another call.
Yeah.
You know how these guys work.
So the official, by the way, Justin Key, one of the younger officials in the NHL, one of the least experienced. So he's done 161 career games, 19 this year. First NHL game. Scouting the Refs is unreal. It's such a good website. His first NHL game was March of 2022. So I want to say Connor Bedard's been in the NHL longer than this guy, I think. Or when was Connor Bedard drafted first? Was it 22 or 23?
I think. 23.
Okay, well
23.
they got there at about the same time,
Mm-hmm.
right? Man, you can't be doing that to the ref.
Yep.
You can't. Also, the ref's wrong. And like Connor Bedard, here's what's always been wrong about these situations. Connor Bedard's got to sit there after the game and talk about his mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Justin Key, and any ref for that matter, does not. Well, no, after the game I got yelled at by my boss and they're going to take away. None of us saw that. Connor Bedard's got to be, publicly chastised and humiliated for it. And he cost his team the game. Like, I'm going to acknowledge you can't do that to a referee and the ref was right to call that. But there's no acknowledgement that, yeah, you know what? In a key moment in that game, I fucked it up.
I think
Jeff Blashill's right. Like that's the difference in the game. The swing was the Blackhawks should be on a power play or have a penalty shot.
Yep.
And instead you gave the Kraken a power play and they scored.
I think that there is a little bit of Sidney Crosby in there. People forget Sidney Crosby was a mouthy little kid when he came in. And when he finally shut up and figured it out, he got so much respect from the refs.
Yes.
He gets the calls he needs now. He always talks to them. When I was at the game against the Rangers earlier this season, he's talking to them all the time. But it's always very calm and very cool and very collected.
Yeah, because they're egotistical, fragile people.
100%. But as soon as Bedard figures that out, then he will be better for it.
Sign some sticks, Connor. Sign some sticks.
Yeah, go play some poker.
You know why Sidney Crosby was mouthy? Because he had 7 or 8 teeth hanging out of it at any given moment because of Darian Hatcher. Go back and watch. Just type in Sidney Crosby, Darian Hatcher. That's all you got to do. It's from the beginning of his career. And some of you are too young to have even seen this, which makes me feel like a geriatric. But at the beginning of his career, Sidney Crosby had to go from the QMJHL to, which is junior hockey, to the NHL, which is prison, I think, because it was Sidney Crosby is currently playing in 2025. 2005 NHL. We laugh about the hockey from the 80s and the 90s and the shit that we grew up with. Holy shit.
Yep.
Crosby's played through like 3 eras.
Yep.
That's how long he's been here. And if Crosby was a little mouthy at the beginning, it's because he was better than everyone else and the whistle did not reflect it. Why? Because I'm friends with the veteran players. We play poker together in the summer. We drink, we golf, we have a great time. They have banter. They make me feel like I'm one of the boys. And who's this kid? Who's this kid interrupting our good time? Mm-hmm. Darian. Oh, D. Who's this kid? Hey, my personal friend Darian Hatcher. Who's this kid and who does he think he is? Gosh, he's really harsh in the vibe. They have always been this way. Connor, start signing sticks. Start stroking their egos. That's all they are, is egos dressed in black and white. Make them feel good. You'll never want again. That's all.
There you go. The other one, Jesse.
Mr. Dylan Strome, his wife gave birth during the first period of the Capitals Canadiens game that we were talking about previously. He had to miss the birth of his child, and this was his comments post game when he was asked about it.
My warrior of a wife had our third daughter while we were on the ice. So really proud of her. It's tough, and you obviously want to be there for the birth of your children. And didn't know it was coming this soon, but can't wait to go see her. So Sutton Kimberly Strome is my third daughter. Was born at 7:30 today. So it was really quick. She felt it 2 hours before, and it just happened. There was nothing I could do to get there. So super proud of her, and just definitely playing with a lot of emotions. I found out after the first period tonight. I heard before the game and kind of talked about what I should do. I mean, there was nothing I could do to get back. So just really proud of her, and it's not easy. We go on the road a lot, and women go through a lot, and their bodies change so much, and just for her to do that herself is it's unbelievable.
I feel sick for him.
Yeah. This sucks. That's just bad timing.
Yeah, you don't get to plan that. Well, in some cases, I guess you do a little bit, but birth is rather unpredictable. And I didn't like seeing some people like, well, he should have been there for that. Like, if he could have, he would have.
He said he couldn't.
Yes, but not everyone's going to understand.
People are idiots, man.
I mean, yeah. You don't get a do-over of that, and I know he's already got 2 daughters. I assume all 3 of his kids are girls.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. He said our third daughter, but I don't know if he was excluding his son or whatever.
Yeah,
okay, great. Yeah. Every one of them is special. I've been lucky enough to have 2, and you don't get a do-over of that. And seeing his reaction to that, like, I don't like, he was part of a pretty special game, right? Like, they scored 8 goals. Ovi got a hat trick. He got 3
all
assists.
of that's meaningless.
It's completely meaningless. Like, you can tell it's meaningless because of his reaction. And no, I feel horrible for the guy.
Yeah,
and I feel horrible for his wife too.
I think.
Because she had to, who knows? I assume she wasn't alone. I assume there was family there, but I don't know that.
But the father wasn't there, which is very sad.
I feel sick for all of them. It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And like, if Ted Leonsis had a private jet that could get him there within the time, he would have done it.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
I assume so.
Yeah, anybody who thinks like he wouldn't have tried his best, or they didn't have all the options available to them to get him there, it's sometimes it's not possible just because they're on the road trip, or they're in Montreal and he can't get back to wherever they are living. Like, who knows if they even live in Washington or wherever his family is living.
We all know people who have been in the hospital, for a baby for over 24 hours. I know people who have door to door, as in their front door to hospital, back to their front door with another human being in 2 hours.
Yeah.
2. And I'm guessing that's more along the lines of what he had to deal with.
Yeah.
I think you should have tried harder.
Yeah, unless Superman is real and goes to Caps games, I don't think there was any way he was going to be there.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Well,
So,
listen, congratulations to them, and it's
To Taylor Strome and Dylan Strome, your third daughter. Congratulations.
Beautiful.
Congratulations.
I love that.
Yeah. And I don't. Utah's imploding on themselves, but we can save that for another day.
Yeah.
If you don't want that.
Yeah,
no?
There's a couple. No, we don't have time. We gotta.
I don't know. I have all the time in the world for the audience. Unlike these people. I am dedicating my entire life
You're going to be here till
providing
midnight editing, man.
with incredible content all the time.
The Steve Dangle Podcast will be up at 10 o'clock tonight.
If these two gentlemen don't want to sit here and just create content for you, that's on them. I'm here.
Wow.
The PWHL gets started tonight. The Toronto Scepters are playing the champion Minnesota Frost in Minnesota at the worst name arena in the world, the Grand Casino Resort Arena, or whatever the fuck it's called in Minnesota. They play there. Go Scepters.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
It's true.
Someone please Photoshop what Jesse just said onto the side of the building.
Go Scepters. That's all I want to say.
Go Scepters.
Have a great weekend. VIP coming.
Woo! The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.